You are listening to Larry Conners, USA.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
This is Larry Conners USA. Larry Conners USA.
I woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Mama always said I'd be the chosen one.
President Biden has invited some of my colleagues today to visit the White House to talk about it. And I think that's a great thing. And here's what I hope my colleagues tell President Biden. I hope to say, look, Mr. President, we appreciate the invitation to come over. The White House cookies are great. We've got some questions, though, because this thing you've proposed has more red flags than the Chinese embassy. Number one, show us a list of the projects. We can keep debating what kind of bill this is, but show us a list of the projects you have in mind. You're asking us to get in the van. Show us the candy first.
Senator John Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana. This is April 12th, 2021. Senator Kennedy talking about a meeting involving Republicans and Democrats called to the Oval Office to meet with President Biden to talk about the infrastructure bill. That infrastructure bill, which we're told is all about making things better in our country, reference infrastructure. But what is infrastructure? Progressives are rapidly redefining words. And they should. I mean, they're smarter than you. They know more than you. They can redefine words. They can call them whatever they want. Now, you, if you're looking at the word infrastructure, you might want to go to the dictionary and get a definition. Nope, not progressives. I don't need no stinking dictionary, Merriam-Webster, or whatever. I can just simply redefine whatever I want. I guess it's some of that excellent schooling some are getting via Zoom or whatever else. No, what they're doing is redefining everything, such as infrastructure, and their plan does not deal with our roads and our highways and our bridges and some other basic infrastructure. They include social infrastructure, money for daycare, money for health care, money for senior citizens. A lot of that is valuable. It is certainly worth considering, but don't throw it all into this. Relabel it, name it for what it is. You'll probably get a chance to get it through. Of course, they may ram it through anyway since they have control of the House and they think they can control the Senate and they've got the White House. They are, as I've told you previously, they are kids in a candy shop grabbing everything they can while they have all three branches. This $2.25 trillion bill, they continue making lies about it. They're being held accountable, but we're going to get into that later. Also, they may be doing all of this just to take our eyes off the border. Don't look to the south and what's happening at the border. Look over here. Look what we're doing with infrastructure and how we're redefining it. Look here, not at the border, because there's nothing to see at the border. VP Harris, who was given the duty to kind of help get a control on the border in dealing with Central American leaders in the Northern Triangle and Mexico, she still has not gone to the border, and she certainly hasn't even said anything. Not apparently going to either. More violence in Minneapolis. Police shot and killed a man. This is outside outside Minneapolis. And now the police chief is saying that the unidentified officer meant to reach for a taser, but she grabbed her service weapon and fired one bullet. Well, in the process, that killed a man now identified as Deshaun Wright, 20 years old. He was in the car that then crashed. Police say that they had an outstanding warrant for them, and he wouldn't stand still as they took him into custody, jumped in the car, and drove off. And that's when, at some point, she was grabbing the taser. The family says he was shot before he got back in the car, which really seems more likely because if she was going for the taser, he wouldn't have already been in the car. But whatever happened, they're saying it's an accidental. It doesn't excuse it, doesn't change it. And, of course, violence rocking that city, and they're, of course, waiting to see With the George Floyd trial coming up, 500 National Guardsmen on duty to keep the peace. The Biden Commission plans to study the Supreme Court. Tom Jipping of the Heritage Foundation would join us. And he says, again, this is a rechanged definition. It's not to change the court decisions. That's what they're going to do. They want to change the court decisions, not really improve the court. And I don't know if you caught it over the weekend, but a major event happened, reference the Masters. A Japanese golfer won the Masters, the first major win by a Japanese golfer in history. That's great news. CNN, master of always accusing the rest of us of racism, is guilty of what they did, reference that golfer. And more. We'll explain. Lock and load. Ready on the right.
You can email Larry at LarryConnersUSA@gmail.com. LarryConnersUSA@gmail.com.